Okay, I decided I ended up wanted to re-record a video, and this just happens because this is unscripted. I felt like I did a lackluster job on explaining one of my topics. It's supposed to be for Science Sunday, but something came up, and I'll just say it because I have to explain it. It's just part of who I am. And this is going to come up in the video that was supposed to be posted Monday, and it's now Thursday. I wrecked my car. I totaled it. I was driving at least 65 miles an hour down a highway, and that's 10 over the speed limit. Yeah. Could have been driving 70. I forget some of the, how it is when adrenaline kicks in. Sometimes stuff fades away. This was my 05 Monte Carlo. I'm not saying where I wrecked it because I don't want people to go looking around, but I was driving well above the speed limit in a place where I know there are going to be people turning left. Now here's the crazy thing. I anticipated the person in front of me to get into the right lane to pass this person, the side lane, where instead they decide to stop behind them. Legally speaking, the right lane does not have a turn only mark on it, so what they did, both responses were right, but because they did that, I am 100% at fault because I was following too close, but I ended up swerving to avoid hitting people, and I ended up going... I know what happened now after I look back and remember where the damage was done. When I was driving, my driver's side rear clipped their bumper. Now, of course, they were supposed to plastic bumper, so it probably didn't cause any damage. I didn't see any paint exchange. But on the flip side, my Monte Carlo lost traction on one side of the car just from the recourse, so my brakes weren't working well enough. Then I hit a wet spot on the corner of the right turn, even though the left turn is a huge road. The wet spot was thoroughly saturated ground, so that caked my back, all my tires in mud. So I no longer had any braking traction. So I continued to go straight, and I hit a tree stump. My Monte Carlo was valued at roughly $4,000 beforehand, and I did roughly $5,600 in damages to the car. So yeah, it's totaled. This is going to be really important for my video on integrity. And obviously this is one of those things where I'm going to say I'm a flawed human being. And you're going to wonder why I was going 65 or 70 and a 55 as a Christian. And this is one of my flaws. I'll get more in detail into that on the video. I'm going to be posting all three of these basically back to back. I'm going to start posting them on Sundays from now on, but my 2 Science Sunday videos, they should be done and ready to be posted on Sundays, and then my one on integrity is going to be posted. I'm going to post my Science Sunday videos early and then have a fun Sunday one this Sunday, but my one on integrity is going to be probably posted Saturday. No, I'll have it released on Saturday. I'll have it uploaded and waiting to be released. This is important because I'm going to end up talking after wrecking my Monte Carlo, I realized, I've got some major issues I need to fix. And I'll really go in depth because I know my flaws, and knowing the environment I grew up in, I could be much worse, and I will get into that. So let's just begin. I'm gonna take the camera and sorry guys. This is the retake video I have on. This is like just like how culture passes through a society. I already drew everything once, so I'm not going to draw it again. But let's just get into it. So this is something that people just gloss over, but this is something that needed to be talked about based on my previous video on complacency and laziness. And basically what that video said is we let our society get to the place it is now. And this is just going to be a quick rundown of what's actually going on in society, our society specifically. So let's just begin. To start with, culture always starts up here with the artists, and like culture starts, with the institutes and artists, and then it usually ends up going down to the people, and this happens really fast because we are in a information era, so we just pass information really fastly, and then culture pushes agendas. I shouldn't say that so liberally, but like it shapes the way society thinks. So those who are elected are supposed to be in tune with what the people want, so they push those I'm going to say agendas, but it's a bold word to be saying. It's not necessary for this, but I'm just saying it. They push those agendas into government. This is why, I'm just going to say this now, this cycle is why I don't like government as much. I consider myself a lot more libertarian leaning. Well, I'll just go into the next one. This is kind of my schematic I used to explain what's going on in our society. But this is one reason, like, I want as little government as possible, but only because I don't trust government to fulfill all of everything it's required to with society. So let me see. So let's pick up right here with the arts in the schools. This is just where the creative people and the thought leaders are. Because I labeled it all over here, I just used the first letter to initialize. So this is what's happening in our society. Our arts and our schools are this way. It started out, and then like it goes art school, then down to the people, then into the government. The issue is, first of all, we have our schools government funded. Yes, we call them public schools, but like they're government funded institutes. And that even goes for public colleges or public universities like Indiana University or Purdue University. And I say that because they still accept funding from the government, whether it be grant money for research. Well, that's the main issue. I really like the idea of the government helping people have the option of going to school. I like that idea. That's not even a libertarian idea, that's more of a liberal idea. And that's because I'm of the mindset that I want people to be able to, if they can, I want them to have the opportunity to succeed. I know that sounds crazy, but that's more of a liberal idea. I don't care race or ethnicity. I think I made a correction the last time I made this video. Because I think I remember I made a comment about what was it? Something about who you sleep with or what you do outside of the workplace. Yeah, I think it was something along those lines. I really have no care about if you're gay, straight, whatever you are. I don't care who you sleep with. What I care about is, one, do you play by the rules and propagate those rules? And two, do you, like, that's just like society. Are you trying to make sure society functions by pushing what society needs to function? And two, that's just, there's no number two. Let's just be honest. I can get into other details later. I do have some issues with people assigning themselves different genders, but that's, again, I'll probably make that in a couple of weeks, because right now my life is a little stressful. We'll see. Yeah, let's go back to the video. So we left off at people. The people push into government. The issue is we have our elite class. Our elite class is in our government, and that's almost a good thing, almost. But then the way it's working in our society is it's really bad. Yes, we want our brightest people running our government. That's the best way to go about it. The issue is our elites have selected for narcissistic and psychopathic tendencies, so they no longer care about us. They are for their own bottom line, which means they are accepting bribes and accepting, I call them bribes, but contributions to their war chests, and they are in it to help their friends and family. Oh, darn it. Just look at our president Biden's family. Like, the news intentionally hid that he was the center of a corruption scheme, specifically till after he was elected president. And we should be begging our Congress to say, this guy is corrupt, please impeach him. He has committed crimes against the people of the United States in accepting money from China as a blank check to help his son get jobs. He literally had a prosecutor fired in Ukraine who was trying to fight the corruption of the oil industry in order to keep the company that his son was working for as an executive from being prosecuted. That is extremely corrupt. Those are two separate incidences, but it shows, hey, these people have sold us out. That's our president. I have no idea why he was not a public servant, why he was not arrested, prosecuted, and then prevented from ever running in a presidential race again. We had 4 years to get that solved, and no one solved it. Anyways, this is where OC, I say, comes in, because OC just stands for other countries like China, Russia. They buy off our elites, our politicians, and that comes in up here too. When we go back into our teachers, I think that's what T stands for, pretty sure. Our teachers are being bought out by our elites and other countries, and I'm not even saying bought out. Sometimes they're just being influenced. They're being fed a line that they agree with because they are on a broken ideological system. Those who say that communism is good, or there's a lot of things that are wrong with our society, but let's just use communism for example. It's been proven time and time again, and being proven again in our society, that communism and fascism only destroy the lower class. They equalize everyone by destroying anyone who has riches, who didn't hit a certain threshold of money to stay within the top 1 in 1,000%. I'm talking the uber rich. If you got that money in time before those places before they came in, you had immense amounts of power. And the sad thing is, even though they go by different names and they come about through different They come about through different ends of the political spectrum. Like, you can usually tie fascism to the right end of the spectrum and communism to the left end. What's really sad is they both have the same outcome, where the lower class is forced into slavery by the upper class through means of their own demise. We all were fighting each other in this culture war when our elites were prepping to take over, and then they did these massive power plays and degraded our economy by just obliterating the value of our money. So now we're forced to work till the day we die. Yeah, that's kind of, I might sound pessimistic, but that's just the issue. Anyways, I know I went off track. But anyways, our teachers are being influenced by our elites, and then they go and teach our kids who are learning from the schools, and the schools are also, because they're taught by teachers, are influencing the arts, and it creates a pattern in which we end up bypassing the schools as kind of like it's supposed to be a community safeguard against the elites, but they bypass that by making it a cycle, and they just basically, through a matter of misinformation, they end up getting back to the people the agendas they want the people to agree with. Yeah, I'll turn it back to my face now. Okay, let's see if I can rest this here. Maybe.